The actions you take.
Yep.
Because your mindset always follows actions. If you want to improve how you think, improve what you do. The do is the important part. But if you get stuck in this constant vortex of working on your mindset, working on your vision boards, your goal boards, Julie, it's all the same stuff over and over and over again.
It is, and you can get really stuck in it. People get stuck, for decades.
For their lifetimes.
Sure. And they still come with the same issue. I need more consistent income.
Right.
It all comes back to that, and I'll prove it. How much better would your mindset be, 100% of our listeners, if I referred you business that would for sure close, three closings next month, 3 more?
Mm-hmm.
What'd that do to your mindset? How much better do you feel?
Yeah.
I don't care what level you're at.
Right.
3, absolutely, for sure, closable deals. Or if 3 is, like a spec to you, then make it 10. But the point is that you lead with the actions that lead to your financial freedom, because your mental and emotional and other freedom stems from that.
Let's drill down on what you just said to make it basically tighten it up.
Yeah.
So if we could show you guys exactly what to do to take 5 listings, let's say, in the next 30 days, 5 listings in the next 30 days, but you had no time to do anything other than taking the actual actions. There's no getting ready to get started. There's no role playing.
Just do what we say to do.
There's no accountability partners. There's no thinking about it. You just have to take the actions. I know from having been in this industry for a long time, of 100 people, only maybe 5 of you would do it. Yeah. Because the rest of you would spend too much time getting ready to get started, thinking about what you had to do in order to basically make a list of the things you plan to do in the seminars and all the other things because your mind wants to make it more complicated. So I'm going to pick up, we're going to all jump into our car and we're going to drive around your community, and I'm going to, and there's 4 of you in the car, and I'm going to pull up and just make this super simple. I'm going to pull in front of a for sale by owner, and I'm going to say, who's going to get out and go knock on the door? And here's what you say, and here's how you say it. One of you might actually get out of the car and go knock on the door. Now, here's what happens. The person that got out of the car and is walking up to the front door to knock on the door, who's then going to have a conversation with a stranger, who's going to follow a script and follow a proven listing process. By that time, whether they have, if they get rejected, if they have a possible lead, or whether or not they set a listing appointment, whatever the experience is, by the time they get their butts back in the car, they have changed the synapses of their brain. They've changed their brain's wiring, because now they're no longer the person that sat their ass in the car. They're the person that actually took the action. And once you start taking that action on a regular basis, what happens is it becomes easier, because you realize your brain, your ego, whatever you want to call it, has built up so many excuses for you not to get your butt out of the car, walk up the driveway, and knock on the door.
And you get better every time by what?
The
doing
pressure,
it,
right.
By doing it, not by waiting, not by arguing with you about it, but by taking action.
Well, let's talk about that. Mm-hmm. So you're knocking on that door.
Sure.
The seller's going to open that door. Mm-hmm. And maybe the first time you completely, I remember, honestly, Julie, I remember that being some of the most scary, exciting experiences of my sort of adult life, right?
Right.
I say sort of because when Julie and I sold 100 houses in our first year of real estate, that's how we did it.
Yes.
We went to a lot of for sale by owners, and we would oftentimes we knew other people were calling them, so we'd always go knock on the door. And we had a very rudimentary script that we wrote that we've since, obviously, over the past billion years, honed and tightened and been tested on markets and all price ranges, right? But moving that forward, I remember that was the smartest thing that you and I, aside from getting a real estate license professionally, that was the smartest thing we ever did, because what happened is, and I look back being appreciative of having had some initial bad experiences, because I wanted to avoid the pain of having more bad experiences. So it forced me to get better.
Yeah, but see, that's the difference, is what you learned from actually doing it is not, it's almost never the same as what you think it's going to go like.
Yeah. It's easier.
It's easier.
Yep.
And the longer you wait, the more you build it up in your brain, the scarier it gets.
And then somebody emails you or calls you and says they want to sell you leads, and you say, okay.
That's right.
Because you're never willing to move past that initial reluctance to actually get better. You're still staying in that getting ready to get started phase. We could give you a billion analogies. We've got a billion analogies for it. But at the end of the day, you know what we're saying is true. You can feel it. It's a little frustrating, isn't it? I know it is. Because I've been there before. Julie's been there. We've helped a bazillion people through it before. And I'm going to give you 5 steps right now how to do it. Ready?